This podcast is sponsored by ScienceBasedLearning.com. Discover your passion for languages with our innovative ebook, audiobook, and video system. Maximize retention using spaced repetition. Start your journey today.
How social identity shapes adult language learning success. Explore how social identity impacts language acquisition and how adult learners can use it to enhance motivation, confidence, and retention. Social identity in language education, why it matters. When we think about learning a new language, most of us focus on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and maybe even cultural tips. But there's a crucial piece that often gets overlooked: social identity. It's not just about memorizing words or perfecting your accent. It's about understanding how your identity interacts with the language you're learning and how that can shape your entire language acquisition journey. What is social identity in language learning? Social identity refers to how we see ourselves as members of different social groups, including nationality, ethnicity, gender, class, or even professional roles. When you're learning a language, you're often also negotiating your identity in a group that speaks that language or a related culture. Shared expertise. No one has all the answers, but together, the group's combined knowledge can solve problems faster. Why does social identity matter for adult language learning? Motivation and engagement. When learners identify with the target language community, it can boost their motivation to practice more and engage deeply with the language. Communication style. Social identity affects how you want to communicate. A marketer might focus on professional jargon, while a traveller might prioritize casual conversation skills. Overcoming anxiety. Adults often struggle with fear of making mistakes or sounding wrong. Understanding your identity and position can help reduce that anxiety and make language learning feel more authentic. Contextual learning. Social identity encourages learning language within relevant social contexts, which enhances retention and practical use. How does social identity influence language acquisition? Language acquisition is heavily intertwined with social interaction. When you learn a language and simultaneously negotiate your social position, you're not only acquiring words but also cultural meanings, attitudes, and norms. Here's how this plays out. Adopting new social roles. Learning a language often means stepping into new social roles. You might start identifying as a bilingual professional, global citizen, or community member. Shaping language. Use. Your social identity influences what style and level of formality you use, which accents you mimic, and even what tipped dialect you choose to learn. Feedback loops. Others' reactions to your speech affect your self-identity and confidence, which further impact your learning. Positive feedback reinforces your desire to improve and practice more. Practical tips for adult language learners. Integrating social identity. If you're wondering how to bring this concept into your daily language learning, here are a few suggestions. Reflect on your why. Ask yourself why you want to learn this language. Is it for work, travel, family, or personal growth? Identifying your social reason behind learning helps tailor your learning approach. Engage with communities. Try to connect with the native speakers or cultural groups relevant to your goals. This helps you experience real social interactions instead of just textbook learning. Incorporate social roles. Role-play real-life scenarios related to your identity. For instance, if you're learning French for business, simulate workplace conversations. Embrace mistakes as part of your identity growth. Viewing errors as steps toward becoming a member of a new linguistic and cultural community reduces fear and promotes resilience. Use personalized content. Find books, videos, and podcasts that represent social identities similar to yours or ones you aspire to. This boosts engagement and makes language feel relevant. Combining science and social identity in language learning. Understanding language learning through a social identity lens is deeply helpful, but coupling that with evidence-based techniques can maximize your progress. The science of language learning tells us that methods like spaced repetition, active recall, and consistent practice drive retention and skill building. If you want a system that blends simple science-backed learning methods with the social aspect of language, check out ScienceBasedLearning.com. They offer a thoughtful combination of ebooks, audiobooks, videos, and an online practice app that uses the science behind spaced repetition to maximize your learning and retention. By integrating tools and resources designed around how the brain learns languages, with a focus on your social identity and real-life usage, you'll find your journey more engaging and effective. Adult language learning doesn't have to be overwhelming or isolate you from the culture and community you're aspiring to join. Final thoughts. Language learning is not just a cognitive task, it's a social and emotional journey influenced by your sense of identity. Understanding and embracing your social identity shapes how you acquire the language, how you stay motivated, and ultimately how fluent and comfortable you feel. Next time you ask yourself how to learn a language, remember to consider who you are in that language and culture. This awareness combined with smart science-based tools creates a powerful path to success. Ready to take your language learning to the next level? Check out sciencebasedlearning.com for a simple science-backed system that adapts to your unique needs and helps you practice effectively through the power of spaced repetition.